Niall Motormouth Jenkins here, welcoming you to our brand new YouTube channel. Hope that you'll come back and see every segment each and every week, and I will share preventative maintenance tips and regularly scheduled maintenance tips for your car. So whether you know a little bit about your car or absolutely nothing, this is the channel just for you, where I share over 35 years of experience as a qualified and licensed service technician with truck and coach, light truck and passenger vehicles. Come back and visit us and tell your friends, and we'll see you each and every week right here in the Car Connection Workshop on YouTube. Hey, welcome to the Car Connection Workshop this morning. And it is morning, it's early. We're filming early this morning. We've had our morning coffee. Hope you have as well, but thanks for stopping by, friends. The Car Connection Workshop. We got a ton of things to share with you today that are going to save you time, money, and a few bloodied knuckles. Stress, anxiety, blow a gasket perhaps, one that's not replaceable, if you know what I'm saying. We're here to try and help you save money on your car repairs by getting a better understanding of 5 things: where the component is, what it does, how it breaks, and how you possibly could have done something different to save yourself money. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now. So we're going to cover some stuff today. We're back on brakes. Don't forget to like, share, and follow us on Facebook. There you'll find reels and videos you will not find anywhere else. You'll find me under Niall Motormouth Jenkins. And Stevensville on the web.ca. Click on the businesses tab, and you'll find us there amongst all the businesses in and around Stevensville. Had dinner in Stevensville just this past weekend. It was a late night, and I didn't want to cook. So I went to Scuttlebutts. Got some fish and chips there, and a side order of onion rings. And I shouldn't have done that. We're good. They were really good. But lots of things to do in Stevensville. My pops lives there almost 40 years, so I like to support local, family-owned and operated businesses, and I hope you do the same. All right, merchandise. You got some? We got winter hats. Beanies are up on our merch site, as well as thinking caps, trucker caps, snapback caps, and our shirts. Make sure you get some Car Connection merch. You can go to our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. On the home page, top right-hand corner, your other right, you'll see 3 icons there. You'll see our store, you'll see Facebook, and you'll see YouTube. Just point and click, and that'll take you to our channels. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And your comments down below help us to reach much broader audiences so that we can teach them what you're learning right now. So without any further ado, let's jump into it before someone says, "Now that's part of my life I can never get back." Please, you don't want to work with me for a day. I'm a nice feller. But, you know, some stuff just kind of... Did you see that? Yeah. All right, we're talking about... we've been working on this 2008 Nissan Rogue all-wheel drive. And if you haven't watched the previous couple of episodes, you're going to want to tune into that because there's lots of information there. And remember, there's always information available to you on every website. So they're on every video. They're teaching. I'm teaching. I'm not building hot rods, monster trucks, custom rods, or anything like that. I'm showing you how you can save money by simply learning things. And so today we're going to be learning about parking brake. Do you really need to use it? And how many of you say, well, I have an automatic, you really don't need to use it? Yeah, you do. And I'm going to show that in this video. So if you haven't watched so far all the episodes on the 2008 Nissan Rogue, it all started with me doing a re-evaluation of the vehicle to get it through a safety inspection. So a resale. What does it need for me to put it on the road, safety certified and ready, turnkey for the next caregiver of that vehicle? Well, we had a list from another shop in the Hamilton area. We're not going to mention who it is because that's just not what I do. I'm not here to beat people up. Well, their list didn't compare to my list. And one of the big things they missed off their list was rear brakes, parking brake, wiper blades, and a number of other small things, tiddly bits I call them, but we're not going to go to the tiddly bits. The big one here is, first of all, you can't pass the safety if your wiper blades don't clean the window. Doesn't work. Number two, if the parking brake does not, when you set it, if it doesn't hold the vehicle in forward or reverse, it isn't working. It doesn't pass the safety. And the rear brakes, well, we're not going to talk, we've already talked about that. I showed you in the last video, last episode, I showed you how to do a brake service and how easy it is and how that saves you a ton of money. You got to watch that video because that'll show you how to save thousands of unnecessary repair bills. And why do we keep coming back to brakes? Some of you are probably going to put a comment, brakes again, Motormouth? Yeah. Why do we always seem to be talking about brakes, brake systems, things in the brake that make up brake parts and components and how they work? Why do we keep coming back to it? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Well, the reason is there's a pattern failure here, and the pattern continues. Every vehicle that we've worked on this past summer was a brake catastrophe, which could have been avoided and saved hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And one vehicle, to get brakes on the truck, I had to do a parking brake delete, which isn't something I like to put my initials on, but the truck needed to be used and it needed to have brakes all the way around, and the emergency brake, there was nothing left to work on. So if you want to watch that video, that's on a 2010 2500 Dodge Ram Hemi pickup, and that is in our library. So let's move forward. Another parking brake disaster. Well, on this 2008 Nissan Rogue, the handbrake, park brake, set brake, whatever you want to call it, does not work. I push the pedal, it holds. The pedal holds itself to the floor, but the vehicle, you can drive it forward, backwards, and sideways if you want, because the parking brake is never going to work. So first things first, the products I'm using, I'm not doing an advertisement for them. These are products that I have relied on for years, and when I order parts, that's what I order. So they're not paying for videos, they're not sending me a Christmas card or a Halloween gift basket with my favorite treats in there. Nothing. These are the products I've been used to using for 40 some odd years, and I just go back to the same thing. Okay, so this is a full set of rear parking brake shoes. And I just wanted to walk you through that a little bit because I'm going to show you the good stuff first. Then I'm going to show you the nasty stuff. These are just little teeny weeny things, and I'm going to cut them out of the package because these are going on the vehicle today. I got it all set ready to go back together, and it's getting everything brand new, and you're going to see why in a minute because we'll show you the other side. So I'm showing you in reverse order. So I'm showing the good stuff first, and then I'm going to show you what happens when you do not believe in maintenance and service. And that's why we keep coming back to the same common denominator with brakes. You're costing yourself thousands of dollars in needless repairs that could, with a little bit of service and a little bit of maintenance, you can get a whole lot more mileage out of them. But a lot of you choose to, don't go away, you choose this. Let's have a look. All right, you got some, I'm going to pull this stuff forward so you can see just how wonderful it is. Okay, many of you choose this over this. First of all, here's the disc brake rotor. If you have a four-wheel disc brake system, this is your rear rotor. Same setup. The brake pads go here. Flip it around, you have a brake drum right here. That's where these little fellers go. This is your parking brake, friends. And they're not maintenance free. They need to be cleaned and lubricated just like the rest of the brake system. So why do I keep coming back to this? Well, now I'm going to show you. Because many of you would prefer to spend thousands of dollars on brake work than a few bucks to do service. This is what I found back there on the 2008. So the shop that didn't put anything down on the estimate sheet for making sure the rear brakes are going to work and the parking brake works for a safety inspection so the vehicle can be sold and moved on to another caregiver, this is what I had to work with. This side actually has a little bit of brake material, but there's a piece missing. And everything is all rusted and corroded. There's no lubrication anywhere. This is the star adjuster. The clips are just about rotted all the way through. And then when these fall off, the shoes then get trapped in the back of the drum. And then usually what happens is this. These turn and mangle everything inside the brake drum, and it can lock the rear wheel up, just so you know. So when I pulled this set of shoes out, this fell out with it. Piece of brake shoe. So, lack of maintenance, that's what causes this. That you're either waiting until you hear something and it doesn't bother you that, you're not maintaining your brakes, then you're just going to keep spending a lot more money. It doesn't bother me, but my job is to educate you as to why that's happening. If you want to reduce your repair bills, you've got to step up your maintenance. And that means it's a piece of machinery and you need to spend money on it and maintain it. And when you don't, you're costing yourself a lot more money than you need to spend. Spending a little more money up front on maintenance and service is going to avoid this stuff. Because now this is additional labor to change all this. It is additional parts. Because now I need hold down kits because the springs are rotten. The only thing I can salvage out of all this is the actuator rod that goes in here, and then your lever goes onto there. I'm going to keep it light today and not swamp you with too much information, but this is the problem. And this has been the problem with every brake job, every vehicle we've had into the shop this summer that was dropped off to have a look at it and allowing us to shoot a video on. The common denominator is, again, lack of maintenance, lack of preventative maintenance. Well, how could this have been avoided then, Motormouth? Is actually getting in to the rear brakes, taking the caliper off, taking the brake pads out, undoing the saddle, and getting to the park brake. Seeing how the drum's doing, how are the shoes doing, and then they need to be lubricated at 3 points. So, and this needs to be taken out, clean and lubricate it so that it works, and this actually works. So at some point, this could have been salvaged, but it's beyond salvage. You can't salvage it now. It's not worth you paying me labor to fix junk. And that's what I'm saying. It's cheaper at this point to order new stuff to do the job and put it together and lubricate it the way it should than to try and work with this old junk. And when springs are rusted, they're weak. So the problem with that is, here's another one. It's all rusted away. Springs lose their tensile when they're rusted, and they break. Then guess what happens? This happens. It rotates inside the drum, and again, can lock up the rear wheel, one of the rear wheels, and it creates a total disaster inside the back of the rotor. So then you're into cha-ching, more money. That's right. You guessed it. I'm going to turn my thinking cap around. So when I put this set in, I can reuse the rotor. I will clean it and clean inside the drum with some sandpaper, which I have right here, ready to go. Just clean the drum out. It doesn't need to be machined, so I'll just quickly show you how I do that. I just take my handy dandy sandpaper here, and I'm just going to clean this right up. See the junk coming off? And do you need to use the park brake? You need to use the parking brake, fellas. And I know a lot of you fellas are saying, oh, it's okay, honey, it's an automatic, we don't need to use it. If you understood what a parking pole was in an automatic transmission, and we're going to do that video so that you can see this little tiny piece of metal that's holding the whole weight of your vehicle inside the transmission, because you believe that that's all it takes to hold your car in position when it's on a hill. Not on my watch. You can go to any vehicle that's parked outside the shop here and you will see the parking brake is set. You need to use the parking brake every single day. I know, here it comes. Here it comes, brothers and sisters. Every single time you park your vehicle, you need to make these brake shoes work. And when you stop doing that, this is what you're getting. Do you hear it? Cha-ching, cha-ching. It's costing you. So fellas, if you're one of those fellas that says you don't need to use that parking brake because it's an automatic, you're wrong. All day wrong, every day wrong. It's not true. That's not true. Question? Do you have a question? Skippy, you got a question? What would that be? Yes, the safety factor is if you're not using the parking brake and you haven't used the parking brake, you better make sure somebody's going in to check to see if you even have parking brake left, because these didn't wear out from using it. These fell apart from not using it. That's the difference. They rotted apart. So there we go. We got this brake drum. It's pretty much ready and it's in good shape, so we can reuse this. But when you leave things like this long enough, you need all of it. And so that's where you're shooting yourself in both feet, because A, you're the fellow that decides you don't need to use the parking brake because it's an automatic transmission. So why do they put the parking brake on the vehicle? That's my question for you. Why is it required for a safety inspection to work if you don't need it? Yeah, if it's there, you need to use it and you need to service it. And when you don't service it, don't just start using it today. Say, oh, I better get on that and start using it. You better get it checked first, because before you push the pedal or pull the handle, you need to know two things. Does it look like this? And when you pull it, will it release when you go to release it? Because if you don't, then this will do this when you go to drive away, and it's a mess. So on this particular vehicle, it's getting the full Monty. All new hardware, all new springs, all new clips, all new shoes, and then we'll lubricate. There's 3 points on these shoes right here. Let me get my handy dandy screwdriver. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those areas where they contact the backing plate need to be lubricated. See any lubrication there? I'm going to say they haven't seen lubrication since 2008. This is 2008. Thank goodness somebody didn't put the brake on, the parking brake, because this would have been an absolute disaster. But here's my other question. These rotors are not from 2008. They're replacements. They've been replaced. They're just lightly rusted, and I'll clean all this off. These are serviceable. They're like brand new. Why? Because this probably had a brake job. This vehicle sat for about a year. Actually, it did. October to October. So October 24 to October 25 was an anniversary of it just being parked. It belonged to a senior. So the vehicle was not being used anymore. And this is serviceable only because it's just been, it's rust. That's all it is. It's not wear and tear. So I can clean this up and reuse it. But somebody went in and did a brake job and changed pads and rotors. Why didn't they find this? This didn't happen a year ago. This has been going on for quite some time. So when somebody changed the rotor to do a brake job, to change the pads and the rotors, they didn't see this? They had to see it because it sits right in here. How could you not see that? So I would say these brakes are probably maybe a year and a half old. That's about it. And I'll show you why I'm saying that, and then we'll close this video out. But again, fellas, if you're saying to your sweetheart, oh, you don't need to be bothered about the parking brake, it's not really necessary. It's necessary to have a parking brake that works if you want to drive a vehicle on Ontario roadways that's safety certified. If you want to purchase a vehicle from a used car lot or a dealership or even an individual and the vehicle's coming to you certified, this has to work. It has to work. It's not an option. I'm just going to go get a set of brake pads to show you. Again, the common denominator here is costing you money. You're not seeing the value in servicing. How is it that I can get 169,000 kilometers out of a brake job on my own vehicles? It has nothing to do with me being a mechanic. It has everything to do with understanding maintenance. Look at these pads. They're almost like new. In fact, the paint is still on them. There's no lubrication on the toe and the heels. There's no lube. No lube on these pads whatsoever. So they have premature wear. So whoever did the brake job, it wasn't that long ago because it's even, the glue is still sticky. So what I'm saying is maintenance is going to save you a ton of money and a lot less stress. And in the end, I'm going to say this. Remember the commercial, the Fram commercial, you can pay me now or pay me later? That is one of the best statements ever made when it comes to automotive service and repairs. If you're only willing to put money into your vehicle when you hear something going clunk, grind, graunch, squeal, or other, then you're costing yourself a ton of money. A ton of money. To have a multi-point vehicle inspection twice a year will save this from happening. It's cheaper to pay me to service this than replace all this. It's parts and labor, folks. It's parts and labor. This should last a long time if you're doing maintenance. But if your idea of maintenance is when you see the service light on, the money light, you panic. Well, it's good that our vehicles warn us when something's going on so it doesn't get to the next level, whatever that looks like, and it ends up costing you more money. This is the same thing. It doesn't have a service light. It's not going to tell you when. You have to follow your vehicle maintenance by mileage, by month. And we do have a car connection maintenance schedule kit that we haven't added into our store yet, but it has everything listed on there in order on how to keep your vehicle properly maintained so you can avoid huge service and repair bills. It's better to put a little money out to have this serviced, cleaned, lubricated, and know that it's working and using it every single day. So I'm picking on the hubbies here. Hubbies, a park brake needs to be used every single time you park the vehicle, automatic or not. And number two, if you only use it once in a while, that doesn't qualify. On other systems that don't use this, they use your rear brake calipers to hold the car. If you're not using the parking brake on that particular type of gear, that costs a lot of money to save it when the rear disc brake system, which is also your parking brake as well, those systems are killer expensive. So not using your parking brake on a four-wheel disc system where the rear calipers are pressurized when you put it into park, the the rear brakes lock down. My father's Lexus does that automatically. The park brake is set. And that's a system, when it goes down, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So you need to step up your maintenance on vehicles, especially that are high end, that have the brake lock system. So till next time, have fun, keep it under 100, and be sure to like, share, follow, put your comments down below on our YouTube channel. And I'm not going to say it. You'll see at the end. You'll see at the very end. You'll see it at the very end. I'm not supposed to say it. So like and follow us on Facebook at Nile Motormouth Jenkins. Come along and be part of the Car Connection crew by getting your Car Connection merchandise. 2 ways. I always put the link to our merchandise store in the description of every video. And I always put the link there so that you can visit our Car Connection Business Network website to connect with some amazing local businesses that make Car Connection possible, our radio broadcasts and also our YouTube channel. So be sure to let them know that you heard about them either on our YouTube channel or a live stream or on our podcasts, and we'll see you in the next one. So make sure you get yourself some Car Connection merch and you show it off and let your friends know. Tune into Car Connection on YouTube and on our radio broadcasts. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you enjoyed the video, like I know you did, ring the notification bell. Well, thank you for stopping by the Car Connection Workshop right here on YouTube. Don't forget to come back and join us for another segment. So like, share, tag, and follow, and ding that bell so that you don't miss a single edition of Car Connection. So till next time, keep it under 100 and put the coffee on, because we're coming to your house.